Hey everyone, it's me, Ivana Emil Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. And I'm here because we have a new moon late tonight in some places and very early tomorrow morning in other places. So this is the Aries New Moon happening on March 31st and April 1st. So I just want to give you an idea of what the energy for this new moon might be. And I'm realizing that my glasses are like really super dirty. And yeah, maybe I don't need them. Let's try without them. I hope I don't give you misinformation because I can't see. No, I'm just kidding. I won't. So let's take a look at the chart. This is really, I'm going to share some stuff that's been going on astrologically and give you an idea of maybe what we can anticipate for this new moon. But before we get to the new moon, I want to point something out. So over here in Aquarius, we have Venus, okay, Venus right here, and Mars and Saturn, and they have been traveling through, Mars and Venus have been traveling through Capricorn together, and they ingressed into Aquarius together. And at one point what happened was that Venus, poor Venus, man, she's gotten beat up since the beginning of I think it was December. Okay, first she met up with Pluto, right? She was coming this way, and then she had to retrograde, and then she came back this way, and then she ended up together with Mars. And then what happened was that at some point, Venus was between Mars was here, right? And then Venus was right between Mars and Saturn, and that's called a besiegement, right? Anyhow, I'll share with you what that means in just a little bit, but let's take a look at the new moon. Okay, so the new moon is in Aries. This is the zodiacal new moon. We're going to talk about that. It's conjunct Mercury, okay, and it's also conjunct Chiron. So we are going to tap into that. And then, of course, we can't forget about Jupiter and Neptune. This conjunction is like really cool in Pisces. So yeah, let's talk about that Venus and Mars and Saturn placement, right? So in Aquarius. And so we have this beautiful energy of Venus. Okay, in Aquarius, she tends to be more, standoffish, a little bit, not as regal as she is in Capricorn, but more maybe aloof, maybe more distant, but still, pretty. Wow, that is a huge bug. I don't even know what that is. I wish I could turn the camera around and show it to you, but somebody's trying to tell me something. Holy moly guacamole, that's huge. Anyways, we're going to come back to you, bug. Hang around. Anyhow, so we have this placement. So here's Saturn, right? Restriction, constriction, kind of makes things more challenging for growth purposes. And now we have the landscape people outside. I hope you can't hear them. Anyhow, so we have the Saturn placement that kind of slows everything down, makes things more challenging. Things don't go fast when Saturn's around. And then we have Mars over here. And Mars is about action. It's about impulsivity. It's about motivation. It's about putting that energy out there, right? So these two very opposing forces, and they're known as the malefics. And here we have, and they're known as the malefics because they tend to make things more challenging by nature. And then we have Venus, poor sweet Venus, here right in the middle after having duked it out, with Pluto months ago. Now we have Venus in the middle, and when she's in the middle, she's not happy being between these two malefic planets, right? Things are not going well. So Venus represents the love, the connection, the harmonious aspect, also represents money. It represents those things that are beautiful in nature. And when she is trying to manage, Saturn, who wants to just stop things and just hold time, and Mars, impulsive and let's do and let's go, there's this tug of war. So if you have been feeling like you want to act but you can't act on something, right, or you may feel like your relationships are kind of like at a standstill, but that all of a sudden you feel like you need to move forward, and not just relationships, just anything in general, that pertain to harmonious relationship, partnerships, contracts, money, even all of that really good stuff that Venus represents, especially in Aquarius. It's about the mental component of it, right? It's an air sign. So yeah, and it's that communication, you know, via airwaves, right? So text messages and Wi-Fi, and anyhow, if you've been feeling this way, well, maybe you know why now. But the really cool thing about it is about 2 days ago, she was conjunct, I think it was on Monday, she was conjunct Saturn. So she was now really head to head with Saturn, and it's Saturn sign. So Saturn, if you felt more broody or just kind of depressed or just kind of out of sorts, especially this weekend and on Monday, well, there you go. So Venus is moving on. She's still conjunct Saturn, but she's moving beyond those two. She's all, I'm leaving those bad boys behind. Like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go do my thing. And I cannot wait until she gets into Pisces, because in Pisces, she is, you know, she does really well. She's exalted in Pisces. And so, yeah, I can't wait till she gets in there. Anyhow, let's talk about this, this new moon in Aries. So Aries, it from a tropical zodiac perspective, Aries is the beginning of the zodiac calendar. There we go, the zodiac calendar. So this is the beginning of an entire 12 seasons, right? 12 months of the year, of the zodiacal year. There, see, I said it. And so Aries represents, it's fire, it's motivation, it's initiation, it's newness, it's impulsivity, it's growth, right? I mean, just think about it. Aries is the time of spring, and we were cracking up because we're looking at our trees like a week ago and they were still winter. And then we're looking at our trees today and we're like, when do they bloom? Like overnight, literally, there's these beautiful leaves, the birds are chirping, right? So there's this whole new freshness that comes along during spring. Now, Aries energy is fire, and I've always described it as like a rocket, right? It's that rocket type of energy. There's that expression, there's that initial oomph that just kind of takes off. And this new moon is really going to be about setting, you know, intentions for that new anything that you want to invite into this zodiacal year. So anything dealing with especially the self, because Aries is very much about the self, okay? Anything dealing with you, right? What do you plan to do this zodiacal year? What kind of maybe self-care do you need, especially in these times? What kind of projects are you willing to, you know, participate in? How do you want to change? How do you want to be motivated? What do you think you want to contribute to the world? So this is a time where we can set these new intentions and really act on them. Now, the new moon is conjunct Mercury. Mercury is about the mind and about thinking and about communication, right? It's the messenger of the gods. And so anything dealing with a communicative aspect, right, travel aspect of this new moon is also going to be highly influenced. So thinking about just all of those mental qualities and how we can put this together with a freshness and a newness and a new motivation for this zodiacal calendar. This also can represent quick-wittedness, right? Acting quickly, but on a more lower vibration, you may find that Mars gets caught up and acts impulsively, right? We saw that this weekend at the Oscars. I'm not even going to go there, but there was this quickness that happened. Well, I'll go there, from both parties. One of them got very excited and angry very quickly, and the other one just composed himself very, very quickly and went on with the show. So this is the kind of quality that Mercury invites in Aries, and especially is highly influenced by this new moon. Now, the three planets, the sun, the moon, and Mercury, are conjunct Chiron. And Chiron is, it's kind of like a planetoid. So it's an object in space. And what it represents is really that past healing, right? It's kind of considered the wounded warrior. So where in your experience, is there maybe a wound that needs to be healed, or a part of you that needs to be revisited, that needs to be, taken care of? Okay. And this is a time sometimes when a lot of the under stuff comes up, and maybe this is the zodiacal year to really work on those triggers, because Aries is highly triggered. Okay. There's a trigger energy that happens. But it's also a time to take into consideration how you want to move forward. Again, Aries is a forward, explosive, moving type of energy. So that's kind of the vibe for this new moon. Again, this is in general. If you want to learn more about how it impacts your chart individually, reach out. We can absolutely, schedule a consultation. But so this is very general energy, but it is about elevating the consciousness, is what I feel. When we tap into that Chiron energy, it's asking us to go deep. It's asking us to face our fears, our hurts, our wounds, but it's also asking us to do the work, right? Because Aries is very much about going out there and doing the work and getting it, settled so that we can elevate in consciousness. Now, one of the things that I am going to caution you about is that Aries energy, because it is impulsive, because it is self-motivated, because it is selfish, and sometimes selfishness is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's about the self. Sometimes that Aries energy makes us feel like we can take on a whole bunch of stuff, and then all of a sudden we have so much to do that we become overwhelmed and we run out of energy to finish what we started. So I am going to caution you about that. Be very mindful and make sure that you have, that energy to follow through on whatever it is that you're going to set your intentions for this new Aries moon. And we have Jupiter and Neptune conjunct in Pisces. And again, these two planets, I think, meet every 166 years, if I'm not mistaken, in Pisces. And this is it could go two ways too, right? Pisces is a very compassionate, altruistic, very spiritual type of energy, but it could also have a difficult time in the physical experience. And so when we get Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion, the teacher, the knowledge seeker, the guru, and Neptune, the planet that can make things, highly creative and additionally spiritual. And then Jupiter on more, lower vibration can become overindulgent. And then, Neptune can become very foggy. So I've kind of found that depending on where this lands in people's charts, it's either working really well for them, it's giving them an opportunity to just experience a higher level of consciousness, or it's making things so foggy that they just cannot see, or they're overindulging. So this is one of those energies that can kind of go either way. So watch out for that as well, because this is also influencing the moon. And that Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces is sextiling Pluto in Capricorn. And so that Pluto intensity, this is more of a positive intensity, because it's a sextile. So there again, that's also going to be influencing this moon. So we have a good chunk of, the placements in the conjunction in Aries, right? The sun, the moon, Mercury, Chiron, and Aries, that fire energy. And then we have the conjunction of Mars, Venus, and Saturn in Aquarius. And that's the air, that fixed air quality. And then we have Jupiter and conjunct Neptune in Pisces, and that's that water, altruistic, spiritual, a creative kind of energy. So we have a variety of stuff going on in this new moon. So take your pick from those. And if you want to learn more about your astrology, there go. I don't know if you can hear it though. Goodbye. That bug is still there. I have to go talk to that bug. But anyhow, if you want to learn more about your astrology, or if you want to learn more about transpersonal counseling or mental health care counseling, I am a licensed professional counselor here in Texas. Please reach out. We'll be happy to schedule an appointment. And yeah, so and you can find me at silvermooncounseling.org. That's silvermooncounseling.org. All right, everyone, that's it. I'm going to go talk to my big, it's like huge. Like, it's like huge, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, when people are like, oh my God, it's a huge bug, and they're like this, and the bug's like this big. No, this bug is huge. Anyways, all right, everyone, take care. Blessed be. Have an amazing new moon in Aries.